Welcome to the fifth installment of the Global Health and the Arts series. During the past 5 years, we've explored the fields of AIDS, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, and mental illness. This year's topic is obesity.
I love the idea that this conference on this theme of global health and the arts lets us promote this theme of a more unified, in this case not just Yale, but larger community here in New Haven. I love that we're all coming together around the premiere of a play, but also around a major and important issue in public health, not just in this country, but around the world.
Okay, hello and welcome to Evolve. I'm April, this is Brian, we'll be your trainers this session. Our job is to help you change into a completely different person. By the end of your time here, you won't even recognize yourself. That's our personal guarantee.
Most of us carry deep-seated prejudices against the overweight. We look at a fat person and assume that he or she lacks discipline, self-control, and are fundamentally weaker, even lesser humans. For most of us, the obese embody two of the 7 deadly sins, sloth and gluttony, two of my personal favorites.
Starting off, you've heard a little bit about the medical complications of obesity, and I've summarized those here on this slide, and you see a lot of words, and that's because there's a lot of complications from obesity. What we've learned over the last 10 years is actually really frightening, and that is that there's a much broader impact of obesity on cancer risk. And a really important statistic is this third bullet, that currently 1/3 of cancer deaths in the United States are thought to be related to the combination of poor nutrition, physical inactivity, and obesity.
It took 2.5 million years to get from bipedal ape to modern human, and only 30 years to make this last leap. The average American eats about 170 pounds of meat per year, and we drink 22 gallons of milk, but 45 gallons of soda. And if this doesn't cause you to rethink your drink, perhaps this will. It won't surprise you to see the many teaspoons of sugar around the sodas. And the winner here is the Arizona iced tea. 19 teaspoons of sugar.
There's a phenomenon that the psychologists called unit bias, which means that people tend to consume and believe it's appropriate to consume whatever is in a bag, a bottle, or a box. When I was a child, Coke was in an 8-ounce bottle. The event today is not over until you consume 20 ounces in that large bottle.
As you know, the media about 10 years ago started creating these lists, and the rest of the media just loves to talk about them. Best city to do this, best city to do that. And then came the list of the most obese cities in the country. And there we were. I went to the zoo, and I stood in front of the elephants, and I announced, this city is going on a diet, and we're going to lose 1 million pounds.
There's no getting around the fact, as we all would agree, that obesity is an important major public health problem. For reasons we don't actually understand, obesity increases the risk of a set of conditions that in aggregate are the principal causes of morbidity and mortality in the Western world and growing problems in the developing world.
You can't fight your genes, and my genes made me this way.
Well, the thing is, your presence here at Evolve shows you're trying to overcome that, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to overcome that. I think I just said it's not something that can be overcome.
When I'm sitting at my desk and I'm either frustrated, with what I'm working on, or I want to get up and do something else, but I have to sit there, that my emotions can lead me to eat, to snack.
I'm going to talk about stress-induced eating. So how many people here have experienced being worn out, going through a bad period in your life, and before you knew it, you had reached for something that normally you would not have? Potato chips, extra amount of fries.
In beginning, I thought I would refer to an expert in food addiction, that's Cold Stone Creamery. And they have a system which is really quite sophisticated, where they lure you in, you like it, then you love it, and then you got to have it. And that really says a lot about what we currently understand about the neural basis of food addiction.
So the story that I'm going to tell you today is about, unfortunately, the sad story of type 2 diabetes in children. Obesity rates in children were very stable at 5% until 1980s, and everything started to rise. And we need really to understand what happened exactly that led to this epidemic.
But the focus of my discussion today is going to be about partnership, about how health plans need to be more fundamental partners with the public health system.
For the last perhaps year, I think there were more therapies for obesity that were withdrawn from the market than actually added to the market over the prior 10 years.
The problem is that the outcomes you can measure that are really meaningful, things like death and heart attacks and liver transplant from non-alcoholic steatohepatitis and all those things, these are only things you could do fairly late in the natural history of obesity.
In simplistic terms, to prevent the disease, we need to find ways to shift people into caloric balance.
There's an argument to be made, and I have heard the argument made, that in fact a bariatric surgery is as effective or more effective for a target population of patients than a coronary artery bypass.
Our company is advancing a really brand new type of approach for the treatment of obesity.
I would like to bring up one area of innovation that I think can change our whole industry, honestly.